Get it.
Por ti volaré, espera que llegaré. Eres tú.
Beautiful, beautiful. Boats and hoes.
All right. Let me fix this verse real quick.
Okay, do it.
Por ti volaré. Espera. Fuck, now I got nervous.
I like how Irvin's like,
All right, well, we'll do it.
Right?
Here. Let my nerves come down. We'll come back.
Okay.
Oh yeah, do you guys want a little bit of alcohol?
Si te dejas caer.
alcoholic beverages. Oh, man.
2 hours later.
Get it, Junior. Do.
Cuando vivo solo sueño un horizonte falto de palabras. En la sombra y en tres luces todo es negro para mi mirada. Si tú no estás. Well, all right, I'm just gonna skip to the chorus.
Okay, get to the part.
Por ti volaré.
Boats and hoes.
Espera que llegaré. Mi fin de trayecto eres tú. Para vivirlo los dos por ti.
This has been the weirdest one. This has definitely been the weirdest one.
Let's go.
Bring down the fucking bass, Greg.
Hey. How do I contribute to this?
Oh, they say stop it. I was like, what?
You know what? Yeah, sneak peek. Give us a little sneak peek of what you're working on.
I can't. I don't like to give things before they're
we
ready.
have like 5 viewers. No one's gonna.
No, I
how
don't
he
like
tones it
to.
What about the song that you just released?
Okay.
Get it.
Sweet memories did me wrong. I still think of you now that you're gone. Despite of the things you said, I can't forget the way I felt with you.
Laying it.
Keep going. That was dope. That was beautiful.
I like that one. Jesus.
You're the first person that could actually sing that's been released. That was
pretend
beautiful.
here.
Again. Can you just do one more? Please,
Sure,
please, please?
sure.
Okay, request. Do you like R&B?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you like maybe Genuine?
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
I already know.
What song do you know from Genuine?
I just only know the main one.
Which
Say
one?
it. Sing it. Ooh. Get it. Get it.
What's the first?
Get some.
Greg, get the beat down.
Ooh, that one?
Get it.
I'm just a bachelor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me go.
Looking for a partner. Someone who knows how to ride without even falling out. Gotta be compatible. Take me to my limit. Hey, no, we gotta get in the end.
If you're on it, let's do it.
Yeah.
Ride it, my pony, my saddle's waiting. Call it, jump on it. If you're on it, let's do it. Ride it, my pony, my saddle is waiting. Call it, jump on it.
Fucking awesome!
Thank you, Elia.
We're just 3 guys just talking
No,
shit.
I think your stuff is dope. Like when I first found it, I don't know how I found you guys, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think I clicked or I saw someone's tag and I went through a lot of your videos and I was laughing. And so
It's this motherfucker.
yes, you
Oscar is-
essentially like he's eating chicken and
Yes.
he's like dancing.
I'm gonna take this opportunity to tell Oscar that I think he's the one that made us all feel comfortable, like with this, because I think he's so comfortable with himself. I mean, look at him. Look at that delicious piece of a man. He's so comfortable with himself, and he wasn't afraid of that, and it just makes you feel comfortable, you know. So it's like, I'll talk. You better shape up. Ooh, ooh.
I do. Like I listen to like.
I gotta own up to something right now.
Uh-oh.
I kind of coughed and I farted at the same time. If you wanna go and get around with me between the fall with the donkeys or what? Hey, must be the money. Goosey.
I'm not used to being in front of a camera, y'all.
I know that's why I tried to.
Look at this photograph.
I listen to Nickelback.
Every time I see him, makes me laugh. Hey, where the party at?
A girl
Be on the way where the Bacardi at. Hey, na 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 na.
¿Cómo se llama? Chicos Tacos dijo, no, ya no vamos a hacer flautas. Ya no vamos a hacer flautas,
Vamos a servir
hacer
pulpo.
Bueno, hablando de chicos tacos, a mí me preguntan, hey, ¿te gustan los chicos tacos o no? ¿A ti te gustan sí o no? Porque pues mucha gente es sí o no.
Sí, pues
Sí,
no
o
son
los amas
tacos.
o los odias.
¿Cómo te sientes tú?
A mí sí se me antoja de vez en cuando.
Sí, sí, sí.
No así como mucha gente que, ay, soy fanático.
Ah, sí.
Pero sí, cuando
Sí se
andas
antoja.
constipado, cuando
Cuando te quieres
andas
destapar.
crudito o algo.
Sí, va.
Te iba a preguntar. Es una pregunta rara, ¿eh? Tú sabes lo que hace una carne una buena carne. Si tú tuvieras que comerte una persona, sabiendo lo que sabes tú de la carne y cómo sirve, ¿qué tipo de persona vas a buscar para comerte?
Yo creo una persona medio gordita,
Ok.
que tire hueva y que tome mucha cerveza.
¡Ay, güey! Le vas a preguntar, le vas a decir,
Ya
¿qué
la
haces
tengo en la
tú?
mira ya.
¿Qué
tiene
hueva?
No, ok, no.
No, ese güey
Bueno, y ya que estamos en esta pregunta
Sí,
rara,
sí, dale.
¿qué parte te comerías?
Ay, de la pompi, ¿no?
No, la pierna, ¿no?
Tal vez así el chamorro.
Sí, sí.
El chamorrito.
Sí, pues está más miri.
Yo la nalga.
Sí, si
dude.
está en alguna la vaca. La vaca Lola. Sí me la...
You see, Greg, that's why we need you and Oscar here.
Sí,
I
no,
don't
pues,
ask
sabe.
these questions, man.
Es que no, pues.
We need you.
Tengo curiosidad, pues.
No, y con eso.
fucking animal was I back
Well,
in the day?
I do wipes, and then after the last one, I gotta dry myself.
Oh, okay.
Pues sí.
Okay, I gotta own
You got
up
a
to
rash,
something.
dude.
I've had kind of like a sensitive butthole
I have to
lately.
own up to something.
Bro, I've had a sensitive
Okay,
butthole
tell me.
my whole day.
Tell us. No, he's gonna own up to something.
I was a single wipe kind of man. Wait.
Like single wipe?
Like,
Single wipe kind of man.
How hard were you wiping?
Into my 20s. So maybe like 2 years ago.
Pinche Teddy Whitey's todos.
Sí, güey, cagadísimo. Todavía con cachos de carne y todo.
And then he would go from the back towards the balls.
Sí, a huevos. So, traía un pinche.
Stank balls.
Traía un grano ahí colgando en los huevos.
You got
And then Sarah was all like, bro, like, what the fuck are you
Apesta el
doing?
pinche culo, Oscar.
Why does it smell like
Límpiate.
shit?
Why are you looking at
And then I'm
no, you know what? Yeah, okay.
And
Yeah,
then I
if
was
we're-
like, oh, I didn't know you were supposed to wipe more than once.
no, dude,
I thought there was limits.
I don't want you to feel alone because I felt the same way. No. I told Melissa, I was like, you know, you're supposed to keep wiping till there's no more poop.
Yeah,
Y le dije, I told Sarah, this is my logic. I told Sarah, babe, si el pinche, the bottle is this big, why would I need to wipe more?
Porque
Así
todos los
está.
cachetes se te pinche se
It's
te
this
manchan.
big. But then I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, like,
So I tend to hurt my asshole.
Yes.
I'm
Overwipe.
paranoid. Yeah.
What,
of how
what toilet
much-
paper do you use?
Well, for
Don't
the
tell me it's fucking
longest
Scotch.
time, I used Scotch.
God damn those
And
motherfuckers.
esa madre.
That's
I
so
would have
asshole.
blood on the toilet paper. by
Yeah,
the time
same.
I was finished.
I started getting worried.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
So now all I do is wipes. And medical grade wipes, dude. I get them from my mom's insurance.
And then when
she
I
gets
was-
badass- she gets dope ass wipes that she gets from her insurance.
for me, so now that I wipe 4 or 5 times, maybe more, okay, but I still wipe from back to front.
Maybe more.
And then,
The
but
limit does not
my
exist anymore.
process, yeah, there's no limit now. My process now is I actually set my hand on the fucking toilet,
Yeah.
and then I put my ass towards my hand, not my hand towards my
Wait,
ass.
so you move your ass towards?
towards my hand.
You got leverage,
You
motherfucker.
hump it?
It's pretty much.
This
I'm pretty
motherfucker
much dry
twerks.
humping my own.
I'll be
hand.
right back,
All
amigos.
right, all right.
Have you ever actually stuck your hand in the water?
Sí, güey, ya ni chingas.
Wait.
No,
see?
más que, that's why I always flush. As soon
sí.
as poop hits the water, I flush.
What the fuck are you guys
So
doing,
when I
guys?
go one,
It's 'cause sometimes
one
you go
time
too
when I
fast.
go in
Oh,
there,
you wipe sitting down.
sitting
Sí.
down.
Mistake number 1.
Your ass cheeks closed.
That yeah.
No.
Yo tengo buen culo.
He
güey.
said, no.
Yo tengo buen
Yeah,
culo.
he does
güey.
have a nice ass.
So cuando estoy wiping parado, it doesn't go in, güey. Mucho culo.
Mucho culo.
Yeah, man.
So I wouldn't need to call Sarah to spread my ass cheeks.
But
Because you have
that's
to
another
understand
level.
que tengo panza, güey. So I have a big upper body, pero tengo panza. So it's kind of hard to do all these movements with a big upper body and a panza. Like it's kind of hard.
If I need more space, I'll
Demonstrate,
I'll
Greg.
do that. like a...
So you stay sitting.
So, sí, but I like to sit down. Pero me apoyo, güey, con esta mano y hacen it. Because sometimes you're in a hurry, güey, la hago así, güey, pinche. And then I fucking right into the water y luego ya vale verga el pinche toilet paper.
Yeah. What about your most vulnerable
When you're
during
taking
that
a shit?
one time that you're wiping your ass?
Or when you're coming.
Say it again.
Vulnerable?
Vulnerable.
Look at the moment of vulnerability.
Prior to The Voice, I was living in New York City. And before I got on The Voice, I had auditioned for The Voice, American Idol, all the shows. Like when I was from like 16 to 20, 21, I had auditioned several times and had never made it through.
Okay.
And so when I was living in New York, I just started practicing every day on my voice, got a vocal coach out there. And then when I got on The Voice, surprisingly, I had never done anything like of that level. Like you think like, oh, I've done local shows or things here and there, but basically international level where because The Voice is the most watched show in the world.
Wow, I did not know that.
And because they put it all on YouTube and so people all over the world are watching it. I was not ready. I mean, I was as ready as I could be for that moment, but after doing it, I realized how much experience it gave me.
Yeah.
And then the time after that, like after I did The Voice, I moved back here to El Paso and I started getting booked like crazy. So I was performing every single week. I'm still performing every single week except until during this quarantine, but I was singing like everywhere all the time in front of people. And even though I grew up performing and doing theater and things like that, I spent, years in New York not really doing that because I wasn't getting booked type of thing. So a year passed and then I got on The Voice Mexico. And at that point I was like, okay, I feel way more myself. I know kind of what I'm doing. I know what kind of artist I'm trying to be. I know my look, my sound, because I learned a lot about branding basically, not just singing. So for shows like The Voice and things like that, they really want to see like if you're a country artist, they want to see that. They want to see it, look it, feel it, sound like it type of thing. And when I initially got on The Voice, like I didn't even know that at all. I was just like, I like to sing. And so I had developed myself. And so when I did The Voice Mexico, I kind of went in more aware of kind of how things were going to go. And from how they did my hair to what we got to wear and things like that, because I think a lot of people don't know is that they choose that for you. They choose your makeup. And that all makes a difference because if you're not used to someone else choosing you, you're like, wait, I don't feel comfortable. So like when I did The Voice Mexico, I was like, okay, I'm more comfortable. I know what I want to go after. Then after that, I did American Idol. And that's like a whole different animal. And then at the end of it, I just like realized like no matter if you make it through one round on the show or if you win the whole show, after you're off and you have to keep working. Like it doesn't matter. I didn't even make it that far. Like I wasn't like top 10 or anything like that, but I kept the momentum going. I never let that slow down just because I was like, I have to use what I have and just milk it. Like just take advantage of everything you can in the moment and then use what you have and not wait like, oh, when I have 20,000 followers, I'll do this. Or like when I have this, I'll do that. And so that like The Voice led me to La Voz. The La Voz led me to American Idol. And even after that, I was still performing every weekend doing. So it's just, and I know the winners of the shows because when you start off in the show, no one knows who's going to win. Right. And so like by the end of it, you're like, wow, they won. That's crazy. It's insane. And they have great opportunity, but that doesn't mean they're going to be successful, unfortunately. Especially in the entertainment industry, it just like means nothing, almost.
It's such a competitive landscape.
Yeah.
Right? But is art competitive?
Insanely, yeah. I mean, it has to be. It's just the way we function. It's hard because it's like, how are you going to judge art?
Right. Like, how is that a competition?
But it's all relative.
You know what I mean?
It's like you could look at a painting and be like, this is beautiful, and I could be like, this is terrible.
Garbage.
So, and same with singing. Like half people are like, oh my God, you're amazing, and the other half are like, you cannot sing. And I think that comes with anything when it comes to like art and entertainment. Everyone has an opinion about it.
I've lost the love of my life, and this is the picture of her. That's a beautiful song. I like it. I hate hearing it because then I start crying. There's certain songs that I don't really listen to a lot because I'll start crying for sure, 100%. So I don't listen to them. So when I feel like, you know what, I'm feeling a little cheesy, I'm gonna cry. Like I just put them on. I'm like, good.
I was gonna say something, but I don't even actually speak of it because I know I'm gonna cry if I talk about it. So I'll just hold it. I'll hold it.
Okay.
We'll give him time.
Nah. Suéltalo.
I'm gonna cry for sure.
Suelta el sentimiento.
I'll cry with y'all.
Okay, watch. Let me tell you.
A ver, pues.
Okay, so obviously, like, people's deaths are shitty, right? So last time I was talking with my girlfriend Cindy about like, oh fuck, I'm already getting. Okay,
Come on.
so I try like to prepare for stuff, right? Like, I mean, you can't prepare for everything, but like, I guess prepare for people's deaths, right? So what I've been doing slowly is like, I guess, you know, my mom's in her 60s, like slowly trying to prepare, you know? So last time, okay, I was sitting in, because there was like, at the house, there was like a little division, right? Between the kitchen and the living room.
Yeah.
So I was just laying there, and then I,
It happened.
Don't look at him. Don't look at him.
Come
It's
on.
gonna be a while, yeah.
Come on.
I was saying like, I love you, like super low.
Oh, I'm sorry not to laugh at you because he's making me laugh.
What do you do? Okay.
You guys are gonna start making me tear up.
So you were seeing your mom. You were seeing your mom.
I was saying I love you super low, so she wouldn't hear me.
Oh, nice.
And then.
Don't look at me. No, I can't. Okay, hold on.
Me hace que se me salga un pulmón, caro. So you were
Give me
you
one
were
of
in
your
the
napkins,
sala.
'cause my eyes are watering.
You were in the sala and you were seeing her, and you were saying I love you really
Like,
low.
could you see her?
No.
Or like, did she know where you were?
No.
You were
Just so I could get used to not hearing it.
oh
Not hearing it say it back.
shit, man. Damn.
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
Dude, I can't.
It's because Irvin likes to he doesn't like to think
Like to
about
hurt
that.
yourself?
No, Irvin doesn't like to think about that. He doesn't like to not face the reality, but he doesn't like. I don't know. He just doesn't like to think about that.
No. I think it's because I face it so much. Like I have a lot of panic attacks at night and like just scared. You know.
Of it all ending.
Yeah.
Like,
Because
there's
I
an
do
ending.
face it. Because I do. I accept it as a reality. You know.
Yeah.
And I try and like use science to make me feel better. I'm like, well, you know, I like to do a lot of research and learn about stuff. So I'll look at like how they're extending the life of like people by preserving their telomeres longer, and like, oh, we're gonna be able to live as long as we want because you know, through science. So that's what like makes me be able to sleep at night, because I'm like, okay, we're gonna figure this shit out. But yeah, so that day like I would just do that and I would say it low so I would be able to get used to, at least to try to be like, okay, well, this is what it's gonna be like when she's not here. So then later on, then I would say it louder, so that when she like hears me and she says it back, then I'm like, okay.
She's still here.
Oh, man.
I say that a lot. I mention that a lot to my little sister. Whenever I'm at home with my parents, I'm all like, I'll tell you what, they're gonna be gone, whether you like it or not. You know, you're fighting or you're feeling some type of way or this. But the only reason why my parents and I have this bond and they love me the way they love me is because I've realized that they're gonna be gone, and there's gonna become a time where they're not gonna be here anymore. And I made a conscious decision to do as much as I can right now, and be there as much as I can, and be as real, as raw as I can to them.
Yeah.
Because they're not gonna be there all the time. And she gets upset because my parents like give me all this attention and all this stuff. She gets upset like, yeah, you're the favorite. It's like that's not it. But that's not it, because when you were small, like they went through all these things with me. Like I burned my face, like my knees. I got surgeries on both of my knees. Like I went through a rebellious phase. Like blah blah blah. Like so we have history. Like that you're pretty much creating your history with them. So you'll get to the point where I'm at eventually, but for now, like this, it is what it is. They love me more than you.
That you like, I feel you on that. So my mom had me young, and so for like when I was little, it was basically like just me and her.
Yeah.
And so my siblings will always fight with me, and they're like, oh, you know what, like mom loves you more. And like when they were younger, like they used to say that, and I don't think they could understand like the bond that we had. So since she had me young, we were like best friends
Okay.
and like mom and daughter at the same time.
Yeah.
So like I experienced everything with her. Like we have always had such an awesome, open communication like with our relationship, and so she's my world. I get you. And when you start, I can't do it.
It's hard, huh?
Like I always tell my siblings, like I don't know what I'm gonna do with my mom. Like Like
Yeah.
she is literally my person, like my best friend. Like
Yeah.
I'll be like, come out, come drink with me,
Yeah.
come to shoots with me.
Damn.
She's always my assistant for weddings, and so I'll be like, come have fun, let's go do this. But I know what you mean. Like I have like a lot of her like singing recorded, so I can listen to it. Like just like what if something happens?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
That's super nice. I
That's
save my mom's
crazy.
voicemails.
Like I have
Yeah.
my name and my siblings' names saved on a piece of paper where she used to like she likes to write.
Yeah.
And so she would write our names like over and over. Like when
Hey,
she's doodling.
my mom, yeah.
So I have them saved
That's
because we're all
super
gonna get
beautiful.
matching
Yeah.
tattoos.
I think the reason why I would do that is because me and my mom, we do have our differences. We're very different people. Like our outlook on life and relationships and we're very different.
Mm-hmm.
So I think part of the reason why I would do that is because it helps you appreciate the person more.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we're very different. Like now I can be like, okay, well, you're not going to be here forever, so I can appreciate you.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're young, you don't think about those things at all. And then as a male, I don't think, for me, it was like, I'm gonna party and I'm gonna do my thing and like, pretty much like, fuck my parents, I don't give a fuck. Yeah.
From love to
Yeah, but that was me younger.
Yeah.
And then life started getting harder and harder and harder. My parents got to a point where like, dude, like they started pulling back on how much they were helping me. And then I was like, fuck, like, oh shit, like it's real. Like I gotta figure shit out. And then when I started figuring shit out, like I started appreciating everything that they did for me and all the sacrifices that they made. So that's when everything started shifting. And we're talking about maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago, when all of these things started shifting. And when I decided to grow up pretty much, you know.
Le dieron la comida a los homeless, ¿verdad?
Sí, como te digo, seguíamos ordenando y teníamos bastante comida ahí en el restaurante. Y pues se iba a hacer mala, se tiene que consumir. Y pues sí, fui y apunté todo lo que se iba a utilizar, a tirar. Le hablé a unos cocineros, unos meseros y fuimos ayer a cocinar todo lo que se podía.
¿Fue tu idea?
Pues de que se tire a cocinarla.
No, se
no,
está suave.
mejor está
Sí,
chingón
no, está
eso,
suave. Yo me
De
acuerdo-
todos modos es un gasto que se va a hacer
Sí,
porque
sí.
se va a tirar o
Pues
se tira
eso-
o mejor
pero
se da
eso
a
está
alguien.
suave, pues muchos restaurantes no hacen eso. Como yo cuando trabajaba en Burger King, I don't even like Burger King. Pero tanta comida que tirábamos a like the end of the day, se me hacía gacho.
Sí.
Así, baldes de
Why did he do
fries
that?
y de, ¿cómo se dice? De patties, porque si está la patty muy vieja y la mala tiran.
¿Por qué no se le dan la comida a la
¿Alguien?
gente que
Soup
no?
Kitchen, algo.
Pues que corren el riesgo de que le hacen homeless comida, se enferma el homeless, te demanda. Pendejadas de esas que
Pero,
a
¿cuál
veces no
homeless?
quiere correr.
Pinches homeless ni tienen teléfono. ¿Cómo te van a demandar?
Yo sí hacía
Freaking
eso.
Urban.
Al final del día me llevaba comida y se los daba a 2, 3.
Sí, pues...
sí.
Pero sí corres el riesgo. Hay gente que...
No, hay gente que no
Créeme
está
que los
buscando.
homeless están más educados que uno a veces. Sí,
Pues sí.
Y yo cargué mi camionetilla y pues estábamos allá los homeless caminando y uno de ellos nos dijo, ya fueron a la calle Florence. Y fuimos y toda la calle llena de homeless. Y anoche que estaba el aironazo, el viento y estaba frío. Y luego traíamos una botellita de Lysol. Se la pasé, le dije, lávense las manos todos y todos pasándose la botellita. Y ya les pasamos la comida.
En
Do
español.
you know who David Chen is?
Oh, the Asian guy.
Yes!
That's what I was talking about. That I would love for him to invest here with us.
Dude, we asked him for the podcast.
Yeah,
Oscar
he's
did.
actually down to be
And
here.
he's down.
Yeah, he's a-
that guy's
so he's-
story is
he's-
beautiful,
Yeah,
dude.
he's thinking
Yeah,
of being
he,
here.
you know, he has a huge project downtown right now going
No,
on.
what does he have?
So where it used to, you know that where it used to be the garden and those buildings.
Okay.
I think he bought one of them, and he's pretty much trying to make like a tech space building that's gonna have like living quarters there, but it's also office.
For tech people.
Oh my
Yeah.
god,
Dude!
Yeah.
It's like he's trying to build fucking
Silicon Valley?
Silicon Valley. over
Yeah,
here.
well, he's trying to bring a little piece of
I mean,
it.
at
You
least
know,
like that-
he's
that-
dumped about I think over $1 million into that project. Yeah.
Because there is so much potential here in this area. Just because how it's always been for years. We're next to the border.
It's just awesome that he sees the potential and he
Yes.
knows what it's gonna be. So
he's dumping all his money in El Paso. I mean, I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think it's really awesome.
He's going to be one of those guys that people talk about for years. David Shen on his podcast was talking about that, how you kind of have to have a balance because entrepreneurship also has its downsides. You don't have that health insurance. You don't have benefits. You don't have any of those like safety nets.
Right.
You know,
401ks.
and 401k, all that good shit, retirement, all that stuff. And if you're just, you know, playing it safe and that good company job, yeah, you have all that stuff, but you don't have the other benefits of entrepreneurship, which is like high risk,
freedom,
high reward,
man.
freedom, all that shit. So what he was saying is like be in the middle. Like have your job with the benefits, with everything, and then on the side you start doing your other shit. Yeah. And then once that other thing picks up, then you can slowly transition.
With that said, I was gonna say a lot of our because of the social media, a lot of the culture is bashing on safety, and I think that that's kind of not necessarily true. You know, like not everyone's made to be an entrepreneur,
right?
And part of the gratitude that you get from being an entrepreneur, not saying I'm one yet, but that's what I'm planning on, on pursuing, is giving that safety net to employees, to creating companies that are going to do that. And there's a lot of people that don't necessarily want the stress of juggling 100 things at the same time, thinking of everything, risking, and there's nothing. I don't think there should be as much shame, or any shame for that matter, in
one in that 9 to 5,
and maybe they have different priorities too.
As an entrepreneur, you need people to not want to beat you in a way. You know, you want people to be loyal to you. You want people, and in turn, I mean, it's a mutualistic relationship. You're gonna not screw them over. You're gonna take.
What is it that gets you, that keeps you going through those hard times? That gets you going through the day. That wakes you up in the morning and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna keep going.
I mean, it's definitely like sense of purpose.
Okay.
I feel like I'm blessed to the sense of like knowing what I want, because even that's a blessing. Like a lot of people don't know what they want. So then they feel like there's no purpose in their life. There's nothing to work for. And I have those days too, though. Like it's not like every day I'm like purpose and you know, like some days I'm like, what am I doing? Like, what does it even mean? But and then also God, like for me, like, it's a higher purpose. Right. So there's like your personal purpose, and then there's a higher purpose. So even if you're not in the place of like, I know exactly what I want, I know what I want to do, this and that, like being able to look up and be like, I know you got me. I don't know what I'm doing, but I just hope I'm in the right path. Like even when I used to work as a clown, I did it for 4 years. And so by the end of it, I was like miserable. And it just... It was rough. It was really rough. And every day I would say like a morning prayer to myself and just like basically saying like, God, just make sure I'm like in the right direction. Like just, I don't know. I'm just going to keep going and trying. But I think it's having a higher purpose. So whether you believe in God or something bigger than yourself is important, because I mean, life is hard. Life is hard, especially with everything that's going on right now. And then trying to find your purpose, you know, whatever that means. And it doesn't have to be like, I want to be famous and be a bajillionaire and, you know, do all this. It could be just like, I'm going to do the best I can with what I have right now.
You're the type of person that, like, I'm just rooting for. Like,
100%.
Like your story.
God,
You've put in the hard work. Like, working as a clown for 4 years.
Oh,
Who
man.
does that? Like, who is
God.
gonna put themselves?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
You took the leap of faith.
Yeah.
And
like,
you had
but
hope and you believed
because you did that. Like, I'm rooting for you. Like, you've done the hard work. You know.
Yeah.
Like,
keep
you've
doing
put
the hard work,
yeah.
and you keep doing the hard work.
Yeah.
You've put yourself out there in those situations. Can you talk a little bit about those times?
My whole mentality, like even like with my roommates and stuff, was just like, we're gonna make it happen.
Yes. So
I don't care how it is. I don't care what we have to do. Like you just make it happen. And when you have that mentality, you'd be really surprised what you can get done.
Yep.
Obviously, being a clown was not ideal, but before I started clowning, I was working at restaurants.
Okay.
So I would wake up at 4 a.m. and go to my first shift from 5 to 12 at a hotel restaurant, and then I would go to my next job, my next restaurant gig, from like 4 to 2. So to me, clowning for 2 days a week, you know, all day, but like I was like, and I'm performing, and I love kids. Personally, I love kids. That was like, all right, I'd way rather do that than be a waitress. Waitressing sucks. Like, because you hate, like, you just start to hate people. You're like,
Yeah.
I hate you so much. But
Yeah.
and clowning was rough, but at least it was in that sense, like, it was always different. You know,
Yeah.
we're never doing the same thing twice.
Right.
And you know, we had some. I don't want to say it was horrible, but like, we had some really great parties with really great kids and families, and then you had some like not so much.
Yeah.
But it was more of an adventure, I would
Okay.
say. And it was exhausting, but at the time, like, the amount that I was being paid for the amount of time,
Yes.
it freed up my Monday through Friday.
Okay.
So I was like, and I was
Golden.
still, you know, babysitting or catering or picking up other jobs here and there. So that to me was like very valuable because time is valuable.
Yes.
Right. And so, and then you say, like, why don't people do it?
Yeah.
I mean, really, because they don't have to.
Right.
New York also put me in a sense where, like, I have to suffer to make it.
Yeah.
And I'm a lot happier now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm more comfortable. I'm still working hard, but there has to be that balance of, like, you don't want to kill yourself,
Right.
like, at the end of it. Because when I left New York, I was not in a good place mentally.
Right.
You know, I was still trying to do everything I could, but I don't think mentally I was, like, in the right direction.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, hustle, like, no sleep, no days off, and all this
The
stuff.
stress level was high.
But I was like, I was so stressed. And then as soon as I moved to El Paso, I lost 20 pounds.
Yeah.
I felt calmer. I felt like open. And now I did realize, like, I love New York. I hope to one day live there again or be able to work there. But you spend so much time trying to get from one place to the other. You spend so much time just trying to live.
Like commuting, you mean?
Like commuting, but just trying to live in general,
Okay.
right? Like, it's just so much of an extra effort, right?
Right.
For a great price, I guess. You know,
Right,
like, you're
right.
living in the greatest city in the world.
Right.
But here, it's like my lifestyle is like, great, I got food, I can do this. It's like easy to commute, it's easy. I have more time for my creative process. So I have more time to be at the studio, to songwrite, to whatever. And so I think wherever you are, you just make it work as long as you're filling that time productively.
Yeah.
Here, it's way easier to just chill out and like, it's so easy to go out here and like drink. And so in New York, it's still a hustle to go out.
So expensive.
Yeah, it's so expensive. Like, then if you, like, the trains close at this time, and then it's gonna take you 2 hours to get home,
Yeah.
or you pay a $50 like,
Right.
here it's so easy to just be like,
Yes.
oh, Cincy, okay. You know, like, it's like so
Yeah.
easy. So, which is nice too, but I think it's just like figuring out, like, no matter where you are, because I've realized, like, I don't have to be in New York or LA or anywhere else except wherever I am in that moment to make things happen.
Right.
It just, it's not the way it is anymore.
Do you share any stories of any moments that stand out throughout your photography career that maybe, you know, like stuck with you? That you were like, oh, okay.
I feel so privileged and humbled to have been invited to and to shoot. And it still sticks with me because, like I said, I'm an empath. I feel emotion really hard for other people. And so he was in the
Law
police
enforcement?
force. And so he got cancer.
Oh,
And
wow.
it was very quickly. He found out, and then he was taken away. And they asked for a photographer to shoot it. And parking lot was packed.
Yeah.
Street packed, audience was packed, and they like had all of the people from his unit in their full uniform.
Yeah.
And it was policemen, it was people from like different levels, sheriffs, all this stuff. So they brought his body down in the flag covering it. And I was trying so hard not to cry because I could see his wife crying. I could see his friends crying. And then you like they were saluting him and bringing him down with this long aisle of just people who loved him.
Yeah.
And I was just like trying so hard not to like make any noise and like just tiptoe around.
Yeah.
And to take as many pictures as possible, but not to like overdo my clicking.
Yeah. Damn, that's
And,
tough. That's
I think when I mean weddings are awesome. You get to see people falling in love and like,
Yeah.
telling people how much they love them, or families uniting, or like babies being born. And I never thought that I would ever photograph I
Death.
guess, yeah. This like just it was more of like a celebration of his life. And
beautiful.
I think that's just the one that will always hit home for me. Well, not hit home, but like just hit me hard. And I actually got to sit with his wife when I turned over the photos, and we went through them on my phone together.
Yeah.
And I think I only expected to be with her for like 15 minutes because I don't like to be emotional. I keep my stuff in a lot. But I stayed with her for like over an hour and just went through all the photos with her. And she would be like, oh, he used to do this. Or, oh, they said you lucked out. And I know I found the love of my life. And like, I was crying with her because I was like, oh my God, I just can't. Yeah. So I think that, and I still have the photos.
Really?
Yeah. My mom actually sang for his funeral too.
Oh, that's awesome.
She sang for his funeral. And she would like watch me and be like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah.
But no. I think that would have to just be one that I really just cherish.
Death is crazy. I mean, nobody wants to go through it. Nobody wants to think about it. Nobody wants to think of that moment of when your significant other or a friend or a dad or a mom passes away. Nobody wants to think about that. So I mean, for you to pick that one, that's beautiful because it's a feeling that nobody wants to go through, and you capture this beautiful moment of a ceremony. And I've been to one. Sarah's grandfather was in the military, so he had like the military ceremony. Yeah. And for me, it was an honor to be there. I don't serve in the military. I haven't served in the military. I think the way that they do it makes me kind of want to serve in the military.
Beautiful.
Because it's beautiful the way that they send you off. Yeah. And with the American flag and. Your family just writing me. I don't know. There's such an honorable way of your last moments here in this earth, or your vessel, of being here in this earth to be sent off. Like, I think that's freaking awesome.
Comido 50 cents y...
Sí, fue hace como 2 semanas. Sí. Comió el señor dos shrimp cocktail y 2 órdenes de crab cakes.
Le gustan los mariscos al 50 Cent.
Le gusta marisquear.
50 centavos.
Ha ido los de CC Top. Han ido Tony Hawks. También acá más hispanos como Maribel Guardia.
¿Cómo se mira? ¿Te se mira de 20?
My dad loves her.
¿Te está chichona?
Todavía está aguantable.
Ya está grande la señora. 60 something, 70 something.
No la juzgo.
No, nosotros no miramos a la gente así,
Greg. No digo que está mal, no me digo que ya está grande la señora, pero se mira bien.
Juzgón.
Respeto, por favor.
Sí, ok, I'm sorry.
Ya te vangaste, compa. Ya te vangaste.
Saquen la otra.
¿No hay alguien que admires?
Pues sí. Obvio que empecé con Gordon Ramsay, con sus gritos y sus fuck this, fuck that. Digo, y como yo siempre como mi familia, y como les comenté ahorita, estaba yo en ROTC y mucha de mi familia ha estado en la milicia o en policía. Mi hermano está en los Marines.
Okay.
Y siempre me gustó la disciplina. Y yo veía mucho eso en la cocina, la disciplina. Y me gustaba mucho Chef Ramsay, cómo trataba a todos sus cocineros. Y dije, algún día yo quiero ser así. Pero ya tenemos a Human Resources y ya no puedo ser así.
Sí, pues en el show se sale con la suya, ¿no?
Ese güey es culo,
me demandaron 3 veces, ya no puedo.
¿En serio?
En serio.
¡Oh! ¿Qué hiciste, güey?
No, nomás hablarles
como el Gordon.
Como se les debe de hablar.
No, y luego la gente ahora no aguanta nada.
No, las nuevas generaciones no traen nada. Sí,
yo en mi primer trabajo de cocina, la chef me aventó un sartén, porque no lo hice bien, claro.
Sí.
Pero me lo aventó ya. ¿Y hasta qué?
Cuéntanos tú, a ver, tan solo una. ¿Qué hiciste?
Por ejemplo, yo ahí en mi cocina, pues yo soy el expo, el que está dirigiendo ahí la orquesta, el que canta las llamadas, el que vende las mesas.
Esa es mi posición favorita.
Y yo me refiero mucho a mis cocineros como mis perros. Pero
ya empezamos.
Pero no lo hago en mal pedo.
Okay.
Como en los Marines, que son los Devil Dogs.
Yeah. Okay.
Como, perros, animales, muévanse.
Animales.
Y mis cocineros lo toman en buen pedo, que les da... Les
motivación.
Arre, hasta ladran los güeyes.
A la chingada.
Todos los pedos.
Sí.
¿Por qué hay perros ahí atrás, chingada?
Dos ladran y otros maullan. Pero una vez me estaba dirigiendo a mis cocineros así y uno de los meseros pensó que le estaba hablando a él y se ofendió y se fue a quejar.
O sea, ni fue el cocinero, fue el mesero.
Sí, fue un mesero. O sea que yo sé a quién le puedo hablar así y sé a quién no. Y esa vez la tomaron mal. Esa fue
Sí,
la,
you
la
gotta be
PG-13 que les
Me
pongo.
gustaría estar en la cocina un día mientras que cocinas. Nomás ahí todo el... Parece un animal shelter ahí.
I didn't jerk off until I was in college.
I used to watch
yeah,
Are you
Caliente.
serious?
That's
When did that
Yeah,
happen?
dude, that's awesome.
How come you didn't live a life?
It's amazing.
I had such like deep feelings of shame that like I think my grandma and
Wow.
parents instilled in me that
Then
like,
Dios te está mirando.
yes, bro. I would wake up early, like fucking, and then I would have a fucking hard day because I'm a
Sí, sí,
teenager,
sí, sí,
then
and
I'd,
you wouldn't
like,
know what to do.
I'm like, all right, I'm gonna fucking jerk off, and then I would like close my eyes, and I would literally
See
be like
Jesus?
laid down. No, I would see like all my classmates, and then they would just be staring at me, and I'd be like, oh,
Damn.
and I'd be like, and
What if-
I just would.
What if they were
jerk off.
hot chicks?
Come all over them.
What if all your classmates were hot chicks?
I know they're all hot. I don't remember the first time that I jerked off, to be honest.
You remember?
I don't remember.
You recorded it?
Dude, I remember.
I just know it was in college because I had like my own fucking dorm, not
Jerk
dorm,
off
but
station?
like my jerk off station, is
Like in
AKA my room,
Jason Segel.
my shared room.
Anywhere where I sit
funny.
down.
With condoms and cream.
Anywhere
and
where I
Kleenex.
sit down is pretty much a.
That's fucking
jerk-off
funny,
station.
dude.
Last time I sat on Oscar's couch and he was like, "You might not want to sit there. That's where I jerk off."
Dude.
And then I was like, "Damn."
This is butt stand. I think like our culture is a little over sexualized and
Okay.
And
Is it though?
I would say so, yeah.
and I think
Honestly,
the accessibility.
Look at the
to
weather
porn-
ladies in a Mexican.
Honestly-
It affects my like. I have a better relationship when I limit like my porn.
Your porn.
True.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
It does. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
I can agree with that.
I didn't.
So-
I fought against it so much
So-
against like and with
yeah.
myself, and then I was like, nah, I can see the results. Like it's just like
Yeah.
the better like stiller waters when I'm not fucking jerking off daily.
Right.
Yeah, I
Right.
can totally agree with you, man. We talked about this before.
Yeah.
It just changes your perspective of your partner. If
Simon,
you watch
Simon.
too much porn, if you get too into it. For me, I mean, there's
It
times.
desensitizes like
Yeah.
your sexual.
Okay.
appetite.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what is a healthy amount of porn
I
watching?
don't know. I haven't.
There is
figured
no
it
I don't know if
out. And I'm
there's
not
a
gonna say it
healthy-
recorded.
I don't know if there's a healthy
Moderation.
amount or not or a bad amount. Let's base it all off of
Individual.
masturbation.
Look, this is
Individual.
what I think.
Okay.
Get
Tell
it.
us.
I think that I personally, crave women of all shapes and
that's all of
sizes
us,
and
dude.
colors.
Uh-huh.
I think we
Nah,
have
that's
to.
I think that too. But what I'm saying is that porn, in a way, kind of vicariously satisfies that
Yep.
for at least for
A few
That
moments.
few minutes.
Yeah.
for a
Until
few
you
seconds.
come, until you
So I
come.
can- No, like I get to.
You're kind of like that vampire from Twilight who would drink deer meat.
What?
Would drink deer blood just to satify that craving for a little bit.
What
Edward.
I'm saying is that you could do it. Like I feel like it helps in that manner.
Yeah.
Oh.
So porn is your deer blood.
Okay. Yeah, porn is my dear blood.
Like you see a chubby that's kind of good, you're like, I'm gonna jerk off to
go
a chubby.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then that's over. That's over with. And then
Yeah.
your girl
Move
has
on.
so much more to offer than sex,
Yeah.
right?
True.
Yeah, and then if you do it too
Ammunition.
much, then you're like not in the. You don't even have to fuck. You don't. Have
Yeah,
to
you're not even in the mood with her. Definitely.
It's because think about this,
That's
guys.
happened to me though.
We are still part animal. The limbic system is what's in charge of our animal brain. So basically, that's the part that wants sex all the time.
Interesting.
That's the part that just like you see a female and you're like, oh my
You
god.
just want to
Hold on, hold
appropriate,
on.
bro.
But your human brain is like,
Professional
hey,
creep.
what the fuck are you doing? You have a relationship. You have a beautiful wife at home.
True,
You have
true.
children. You
Sí,
have
sí, sí.
you have this beautiful thing going on. But then your animal brain is like, hey, come over here. You know what I mean?
Wait.
So you're fighting. There's a constant war
wait, I need
in your
you guys-
head, just like.
There's times where there's girls that are uglier than my old lady. Like my old lady is fucking delicious. And there's these girls that are disgusting. I'm like, güey, las quiero culiar, güey, me las quiero culiar. Pero nomás
That's
porque
your
mi
limbic
pinche
system.
cerebro nomás, ¿sabes qué, güey? Quiero culiar todo. Todo me lo
Simón.
quiero culiar.
Well, that's how we used to reproduce.
Lymphatic, ¿cómo?
Limbic.
Well, you know what I
Limp
well,
Bizkit?
look, in our species, girls decide
Who
who
you
they
want to
fuck.
make with? Yeah.
Yeah. So you're just taking your chances to whoever
Simon.
lets you
We
fuck.
go
them.
back to that numbers, like,
Yeah.
a ver cuál calla la
Yeah, let's
chingada.
see who lets me fuck them. I want to
Simon.
fuck all of them, but let's see
Simon.
which one lets me
Because
fuck them.
we still have that like animal brain that wants us to spread
Yeah.
our seed to everybody,
And that's the watch.
and we're not.
So I spread it on either on my sheets or on a towel.
On my tummy.
That's where my stomach. So that's usually
like
where
to
my
have
To
That
point it
was-
up on my
For
tongue.
my music, it can definitely be moody, but I also want you to dance.
Okay.
I want you to it's like a space cowgirl dancing under the disco,
Wow.
I can imagine.
but crying.
Damn.
Like, you're like, oh my God, I'm so emotional, but I still want to have a good time.
Are you sure you don't do drugs? You sure you don't do drugs?
Yeah.
Ah, Space cowgirl.
Like, I think that's kind of like what I've found with my music, because like half the time I'm like, oh, I want to write this sad song, but I still want it to be groovy.
Yeah.
I still want you to move to it, you know?
Yeah.
Jamming in the car, I think that's the main thing. Like, how jammable is this in my car?
Yeah.
100%.
Everyone's always telling me to sing in Spanish.
Okay.
And it's not that I don't want to, but it doesn't come super natural to me all the time.
Okay.
Right? Sometimes I do want to write like a Spanish tune or whatever, and everyone's like, no, you did. And maybe if I was like, I'm going to just do a full Spanish EP,
Right.
maybe I'd get a good fan base in Mexico or in the Latin
Right.
community, and I could just write off that type of thing. I mean, look at Becky G.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not a bad thing. Like, she was like, this is an open market for me. This is an opportunity for me. I can do that. But
You have both sides.
and for me, it's more like, I want to be marketable, but I also have to stay true to myself.
Right.
And like doing a full Spanish album would not be true to myself right now.
Okay.
Maybe later, like after I put out my own stuff, and then like do like Christina Aguilera, right?
Right.
She
Oh, yeah.
did her albums, did one album fully in Spanish of just, you know. So I think it's important because that's what people identify with.
Right.
So like if you name any artist, they have at least 3 or 4 elements that are their brand, and that you're like, I listen to Bruno Mars when I'm feeling funky, when I want to dance, when I want to feel soulful, when I want those like, you know, that vibe.
energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I listen to Lana Del Rey when I'm just like moody and like just want to chill out
Yeah.
and feel kind of sad, girl.